What's up, guys? This is Kibbles and Bits. I just got the MLG Anaheim and Raleigh replay packs. They just published them. MLG was like keeping them forever. So now that they're out, I'm going to cast some MLG games, and I just did one. So it is MLG Liquid Rhett versus Liquid Sheth, and it's a really good series. I especially like Game 1 and Game 2 is pretty good. Game 2 is sweet. There's some sweet builds in Game 2. So looking forward for you guys being able to check those out because they're pretty cool. And I'm going to hop right into them so you guys don't even have to wait. So let's do this.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another casted match by Kibbles and Bits. This match is a ZVZ, as I'm sure you're already seeing the creep all over the minimap. This is a replay from MLG Raleigh, North Carolina. And I chose to cast this match today between our Zerg's Liquid Rhett here, spawning in the 3 o'clock position, and his opponent spawning in the noon position, Liquid Sheth. So we've got two teammates going up against each other here. And this match was of particular note to EG in Control in State of the Game, the one that they did at MLG Raleigh. And I've been looking for the game because I didn't see it at Raleigh, and I've been looking around for it, trying to find anyone who has casted it. As you guys probably know, may or may not know, the replays were not casted or were not published until just yesterday. So you couldn't really watch any of the games unless they were casted by players. And this game was not casted, and EG in Control was talking about how awesome and close it was. Even Day 9 was talking about it too. So or not this game, but this series. So I'm really curious, to see what these two players have got in store that everybody was just talking about so much. So as the game gets underway here, one of the important things to note will be that both the Overlords have fantastic vision of both players' drone lines. They can see if any drones leave. So that means that Rhett is probably knowledgeable of the fact that this drone has departed by Sheth. So I wonder if we'll see, Rhett deciding to reciprocate that move and dropping his own 15 hatchery. So both players at this point in the game absolutely identical in builds. Really, no player's really ahead of the other. Rhett's hatchery is all of a second ahead. So notice they're leaving their Overlords in these positions. There's no reason to depart your Overlord early. You really want to note for the gas timing and the pull timing of your opponent to see if you're ahead of them in any way. And if you are ahead, where are you ahead? So both of them seem to go for exactly identical builds at this point. And remember, they are teammates as well, so they don't want to show that they're going too off standard right from the start, even though they probably won't be doing things that their teammates expect, because these guys certainly practice against each other a lot, seeing as they are teammates. So both pools getting about halfway done right now. And note, I like Sheth already having his Overlord in this position and having the second one over here. And it doesn't really mean anything, but just already getting out that Overlord spread, he's really paying attention to that he needs to get his Overlords into advantageous positions. Meanwhile, Rhett, I hope he remembers to move this Overlord, because the Queen will be started right about now. And good. The Queen actually, even if the Overlord's not right over their base, you could chase down an Overlord here, but it's good of Rhett, to both players just really getting every inch of intel that they can, watching, how much gas each player's mining. Both players here did continue to scout. You know what? I'm not positive of this, but I'm pretty sure that both players saw that each player continued to mine gas. So now they are both mining gas. The first and only deviation so far with these players is one, that Sheth is continuing to mine gas with 3 drones. And secondly, that Rhett has switched to 2 drones and is going for a baneling nest. So maybe we'll see some aggressive play out of Rhett, which the spine crawler behind this surprises me, but maybe it's to deter counterattacks, or maybe to feign that he is going to be defensive if he makes an effort to prevent Sheth from seeing this baneling nest. So at this point, Rhett really doesn't want to let Sheth see this baneling nest, and it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen right now. He is likely going to get in here, and yes, he certainly sees the baneling nest. Can't get my cursor on his... Wow. All right, anyhow. See, he saw the baneling nest. So at this point, Sheth looks like he's got a lot of speedlings coming out. Looking at the production tab right now, He's switching over to making 3 roaches and a few drones. Meanwhile, Rhett is producing a lot of links. A significantly greater amount of links, actually, than Sheth. Looking at both players' income, we do see that Rhett is a little ahead in workers. And here come a lot of banelings from Rhett that will really help put an immediate end to the speedling aggression. Now, the question with these roaches is he rallying them down? The answer is no. So, great defense here at Roots. This is going to boil down to if Rhett loses these banelings, it's over. Like, if he loses them to, 1 or 2 Zerglings running in, he will just lose the game right there to all those speedlings. But now, he's killed a lot of these speedlings. I don't really like that engagement from Rhett, losing a few speedlings there. Definitely on the negative end. We see the food counts right now, certainly favoring Sheth. And now, Rhett gets the intel that was very important to him. He does see these roaches, as he has not scouted this roach warren. So at this point in the game, Rhett he needs to really figure out what Sheth wants to do here. Is Sheth intending to go for like a very roach heavy pressure? And it looks like he is getting a good look at that roach count. So I wouldn't be surprised to see at this point Sheth is either going to want to push or he's going to want to switch over to drones. And it looks like he may be pushing as soon as these 4 roaches pop. Rhett at this point is ahead in workers 42 to 32. And he's gotten a look at the very high roach count from Sheth. And it does look like Sheth is going to be pushing out. Oh, he is coming back into his base. That surprises me as he has so many speedlings on the way. If Sheth doesn't poke in and do some damage here, having been the player that made a significant number of roaches, he could be in a bit of trouble. He has a lot less workers, and it's just, he's not very economically favored at this point in the game. So the real question is Rhett going to be able to hold off this aggression from Sheth? Right now, he has 20 speedlings on the way. And that's going to be absolutely essential to holding off this push right here. But with this spine crawler, he may be able to do enough with all of these links coming to reinforce. But so many links coming in right now from Sheth, and the banelings being sniped by Sheth. All of Rhett's banelings have been killed at this point. The spine crawler goes down. Rhett is going to have to pull drones, and this is exactly the damage that Sheth needed to do. He needed to kill some drones, the drone count being equalized significantly now. Sheth is actually ahead 41 to 37, so 5 drones going down there, 4 drones. And Rhett is going to successfully repel Sheth at this point. But taking a look back at Sheth base, following up that roach aggression push there, he has gone all out economy. He is continuing. Well, he just finished producing a large wave of drones. He now has 44. And we see he's actually making, a roach and 2 zerglings. It's really going to... I think he will drone with this next larva inject. And he basically wants to make a macro game from this point where he feels that he's ahead. But Rhett is not so inclined to let him do that. He does realize that Sheth is a little ahead at this point from killing those drones and probably ecoing up behind this. And he wants to capitalize on all those drones that Sheth decided to make while he was attacking. So Rhett pushing here, and these spine crawlers look like they're going to wrap up just in time. Great decision there by Sheth to drop that spine crawler. And this may instantly deter Rhett when he sees this roach count in addition to the spine crawler. Instead, he decides to attack, focuses down the spine crawler, but a lot of reinforcements right now joining the battle from Sheth. And some reinforcement links coming from Rhett, but I don't know if it's going to be enough, especially with this spine crawler joining the fight. Rhett does opt to target down that spine crawler. Drones being pulled off the line by Sheth here. And once again, this is exactly what Rhett needs to do, is counter-hit this economy of Rhett here, or of Sheth, rather, and equalize the playing field. And it looks like he has successfully done it. Actually, he's continuing to rally forces into this battle. I don't know if that's what he wants to do. He wants to pull out at this point, even pulling out these 2 overlords. And this queen, unfortunately, left with a meager 19 hit points. So at this point, we do see Rhett down in the food count, but what's important here is the worker count. And unfortunately for Rhett, Sheth is a little looking like he wants to target this overlord here. Sheth is a little ahead in the worker count, and certainly ahead with the army. 32 supply to 25 right now. But Rhett does have this 3rd base that he threw down. Notice in ZVZ, the tactics of both players, that when they push out, they expand behind it. They do typically do one, reinforcement wave. It's not rare to do a wave of links to reinforce your push. But after they do these reinforcement waves, I don't really like Rhett checking for that 3rd there. That's going to make Sheth want to look for a 3rd from Rhett, because when you're, he's basically like checking, and this is exactly what Sheth is going to do now. He's basically reminding Sheth, hey, we should be checking each other's economies. And maybe, you know, if he hadn't done that, especially he could have done it more discreetly with one Zergling, ran it up around the corner here, and Sheth wouldn't have even noticed in all likelihood. But now Sheth is going to see this expansion from Rhett and maybe even snipe this queen. And I'm somewhat surprised that Rhett didn't see this scout coming. But moving on from Rhett's decision to very obviously scout for a third, Rhett should reproduce a queen here, and now his economy should be well ahead of Sheth, which is the case. 50 workers to 42, but with such a higher worker count and a lower food count, that does mean that Sheth is well ahead in army. And it looks like he is opting to push out right now. We see a 72 army supply versus 56, and a good quantity of Rhett's supply is tied up in those lings that we saw, wherever they are at this point. So this push from Sheth could potentially do a lot of damage. There's only one spine crawler down for Rhett at this point. But if he does opt to go for this third, Rhett may be able to produce enough forces to thwart this wave. So definitely interested to see if Rhett's going to be able to hold this off. This is a massive roach push coming in right now. Looking at the number of units, 25 roaches versus, well, yep, it looks like Rhett may be able to hold this off. There are 1-1 upgrades for both players at this point, and Rhett does have an exactly equal number of roaches. The roach count falling a little quicker for Sheth here, but Sheth does get the better concave here, and these roaches getting tied up in the back. Rhett really needs to stutter step those roaches forward. There we go. Notice, guys, there, if you have trouble with engaging well, if that's a problem that you have, when your opponent gets a concave on you like that, when they make a big circle around you, it's always best to stutter step to move command and then attack command into their army. So Sheth burrowing his roaches here, and that's a great play. Rhett doesn't have an overseer. He's using his tech advantage to the fullest of its extent right now, and Sheth doing an excellent job making this a very economical trade. I am surprised to not see Sheth expanding behind this. Perhaps he already feels behind enough in the match because Rhett does have a third that he doesn't want to, that he just wants to all in a sense. Looking at the production tab, we do see both players just massing roaches right now. Excuse me. And Sheth, at this point, is throwing guys on gas because he has dropped an Infester's Pit. So it looks like Rhett wants to come for a counterattack, and this, what I think he'll be able to do, there is a spine crawler here, and with the potential of pulling off drones, I don't know that Rhett's going to be too inclined to push into the main. Maybe he'll just opt to go for this third and deny this third. We will have to see. I like that he brings the Overseer with him to stop that burrow research, or from being able to really be effective, but also using the Overseer here to scout onto the high ground. I love that move from Rhett. And Rhett in just a great position right now, which is awesome because he was certainly behind earlier. He's checking the upgrades there and seeing just one armor from Sheth. So he does in fact have +1 armor. I like that when Roach is burrowed, you can't see its attack upgrades. Kind of interesting. So Rhett opting to push in here, and he does have superior upgrades 2-1. So if he can get the better concave, he should really bring some of these roaches around this time. But once again, Sheth getting the upper hand in the engagement in terms of having the better concave, but only by a slight margin. And it looks like Rhett may be able to pull away with the better side of this engagement, but a lot of reinforcers joining the battle from Sheth. And it looks as if Rhett is opting to get a lot of gas right now. I'm interested in that because I don't see any upgrades behind him, but going for this queen snipe, and I love that move by Rhett. Even now, it does appear that splitting his forces was a great decision. Coming in here, I really wish he had done something with these roaches. He certainly could have come in, sniped 4 or 5 drones, and left. But at this point, Rhett is ahead by 50 food, and that's a pretty big margin to be ahead by in ZVZ. The one advantage that we have to give to Sheth is that he has gone for the infestation pit, and if you don't know the timing, we're going to see him start making infestors right now around 30 seconds on this infestation pit. So they should be popping up any second. Infestors take 50 seconds to make, and here's one infestor on the way now, 2. Infestors take 50 seconds to produce. So if you want ideal timing for your fungal growth, you want to build it at 30 when the fungal growth is 30 seconds complete and it has 50 seconds remaining, because then your infestors will spawn immediately after fungal growth is completed and will spawn with the extra 25 energy, allowing them to use fungal growth immediately. So coming in here now, and this could be the death blow for Sheth. He's only got 2 infestors on the way, and a lot of roaches actually coming in from behind, so there was a chance that Sheth could have gotten away with that, but with how late those roaches arrived, Rhett had honestly already killed about a quarter of Sheth's roaches by that point, and there's the GG from Liquid Sheth. Rhett coming away with the win there, just fantastic engagements, and one of the things I really have to commend him on was finding the minerals to take a third behind all of that big roach aggression push that he made. So the infestors coming out too late for Sheth, and Rhett hitting an excellent timing here, where he struck really right. He did the damage he needed to do by striking right before the infestors spawned. And at this point, it's too late. There are too many roaches dead. So great play between these two players, and I am excited to see the next 2 games in the series, as Liquid Red is now up 1-0.